It's really simple.
Sports, news, interviews.
It's a Tyrone Poole Show.
Sports, news, interviews.
It's a Tyrone Poole Show.
Sports, news, interviews.
It's a Tyrone Poole Show.
The Tyrone Poole Show. How about that?
That's pretty good, son. That's pretty good.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody's having a great day or had a great day, wherever you may be in this great world. I hope that you are full of love, full of joy, and full of peace. I want to welcome everybody to the Tyrone Poole Show. And I am so excited to be here. I hope that you are excited to be here because I have a great show. So, let's get started. So, what we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about surviving the storms of life. And we all go through storms. We all go through life. Life is a test. I believe life is a university. And life is always going to serve us some type of temptation, trial, or test. So, what we're going to do, we're going to talk about it tonight. We're going to talk about how to survive the storms of life. Now, before I get started, you guys see the ticker right there. Please follow, tune in, check out the things that I got going on. You can find me on all social medias, Tyrone Poole 38, and you can also go to TyronePoole38.com, and there that'll be kind of like the hub. You can kind of get everything right there at TyronePoole38.com. But if you want to find out individual things, say like what we're doing with the foundation, the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation, which I need your help and continued help. And I want to thank all those who have helped. I really appreciate you. We really appreciate you and all of the people's lives that you are impacting. They thank you. So we have another big push with the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. And we have adopted 10 families. That's right, 10 families, people. 10 families that we need your help with. Because I believe God is going to get it done. But I'm talking to you right now. You are going to be the one that God is going to use. We have adopted 10 families. And you know that everybody, we're not living at the same level. I like to say that there is no shortage of money. No shortage of money. There's just a shortage of distribution. So we have adopted 10 families with the Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation. And we are going to help those families have a great Christmas. I remember growing up and it was a struggle. We didn't have everything physically, tangibly, but the one thing we did have in the household that I grew up in, I grew up with my mom and my dad, and my dad passed in 2005, actually during the football season when I was with the New England Patriots, and I was injured that year as well. So, it was kind of tough, and myself being the only child, it was kind of tough. I had to be different things for different people and still try to take care of myself. So I know what it's like to struggle. And that's why I'm so passionate and I care about my hometown of LaGrange, Georgia. So we have adopted 10 families, and we're going to help them have a magical Christmas holiday festival time 2023. But if we want to maximize and really work that thing, we need your help. So go to Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.org, Tyrone Poole 38 Foundation.org, and whatever it is that you want to give, please give. We are a 501c3 organization, and everything that you give, you can write it off. You can write it off. And also, I want to advise you guys that if you're looking for a great speaker, if you're looking for someone that can inform you, give you information that keeps you inspired, give you information that keeps you motivated, then I am he. My name is Tyrone Poole. Just go to bookings at tyronepoole.com. Also, check out our Bullion Buddy app. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. We have an app, a safety app that will protect your children, will protect elderly, protect adults, because we live in a world, talk about storms. We live in a world where storms are brewing all the time. And people are trying to bully other people, take advantage of other people. So check out the Bullion Buddy app at thebullionbuddy.com and see all the great things that we got going on there. And finally, just want to welcome you guys to the show. And again, you can find me on all social medias, TyronePoole38.com. So let's jump right into it. My question that I have for you guys, how many of you right now that are viewing, watching this, how many of you have gone through a storm of life, and not only did you go through it, but you survived the storm? You survived the storm, right? So I'm pretty sure you would be able to help me to be able to help those who are watching, who are going through a storm right now. You know, I believe that in life, we are all students at one time, and we are all teachers at one time. We will all be students again, and we will always be teachers. That's how life is. You're either a student or a teacher. You'll be a teacher, then you go back to being a student. So that's why I proposed the question. How many of you have gone through a storm of life and survived the storm? Yeah, raise your hand. Raise your hand. I've gone through some storms and I've survived. Now, for those who say, Tyrone, I'm in a storm and I haven't survived it yet, it's tough for me, that's why I'm tuning in. I need for you to give me some advice. I need for you guys to give me some advice. So I'm talking to you. This show is about you tonight. Those who are going through storms and you don't know how you're going to get out. Well, today's your lucky day. I got the answer for you. So I'm going to give you tips on how to survive your storm, how to survive your storm of life. Now, the key to surviving the storms of life, I believe, is building a solid foundation capable of weathering even the mightiest of blows. Yes. Hear me when I say this, people. Hear me what I'm about to say. Hear me. The greater the storm, the greater you got. Oh man, you got to get what I'm about to say. The greater the storm, I believe, the greater the reward you will receive. You know, it's almost like lifting weights, right? You know, I work out. Being a professional athlete, I had to work out. You know, my body was my business. And what I learned while lifting weights, the greater the stress that I put on my muscle, the stronger the muscle became. So the next time, whereas before, should I say this? Before, I could not do 300 pounds. Let's say bench. Couldn't do 300 pounds bench. So it was putting a lot of stress on me. My muscles, man, got sore and sore to the point where I'm like, man, look at here. My chest is so sore. I don't want to do bench no more. But I kept pushing through it. I kept pushing through it. And now I can go throw that weight up, do it with ease, because my body, my muscles adjusted to the stress of the weight. And my reward was I was able to do more than I could previously do before. So that's why I say the greater the storm, the greater the reward you will receive. That's good. That's good. So what does the foundation consist of? I talked to you, I just mentioned, you got to have a solid foundation capable of weathering even the mightiest of blows. Yeah, life is going to come. Life is going to give you some 1, 2, 3, some uppercuts and some haymakers. You know, as we all say, life is going to throw you some curveballs. So what is this foundation? This foundation that you must have if you want to survive the mightiest blows that the storms of life will bring your way. Well, the first part of that foundation is discipline. It's discipline. Let me put that up here so you guys can see those coming in. I'm talking about discipline. So if you want to build that foundation to overcome the storms, because everything in you, you can do it. Everything in you can take care of the storm, but you got to be able to utilize it and do it at the right time, and you can survive. So discipline, you got to be disciplined. You know, there's an old saying that goes, he folded, or she folded like a cheap tent. You guys ever heard that? You know, you see some storms, you know, when they come, the wind get to blowing and you got a tent up and that tent just caves in, right? It caves in to the pressure. So again, he, she folded like a cheap tent refers to an obvious lack of personal discipline. Yes, as soon as times get tough, he or she was down for the count. Help, I fallen and I can't get up. Or some people just lay there. So if a person doesn't have the willpower and mental toughness required to stay the course, then life is going to continue to kick your butt. Kick your butt all over the place. So discipline is the building block. That's why I put it number one. Discipline is the building block of this foundation you need to be able to survive the storms of life. My second one, courage, people, courage. You got discipline, and then you got to have courage. If you want to survive the storms of life, you got to have courage. Leaders, I believe, come in all sizes. Leaders come in all shapes. But the one thing that they all have in common, the one thing that all leaders have in common is courage. Courage. Because at some point in life, they stood up to the odds that were stacked against them, and they held their ground. They held their ground. They did not shrink from the challenge. It's courage. You got to sit in there and weather the storm. We got to weather the storm. So you got to have courage, people. You got to have discipline. You got to have courage. And then the next one that you got to have, if you want to build that foundation, and that's what I'm giving you guys. I'm giving you guys tips on how to build that foundation that's going to help you overcome the storms of life. The next ingredient I like to say that you need to pour into this foundation that will help you overcome your challenges in life, survive the storms, the tests, the trials, the temptation, the tribulations of life. The next one, you got to have maturity. You got to have maturity, people. Yeah, maturity. In order to live a long life, it is good to be young at heart. It's good. It's good to be young at heart. However, this should not be confused with being immature and irresponsible. Okay, what did he just say? Society gives us no shortage of things to desire, right? Many of them are traps. Many of them are traps. Say like your cell phone, you know, they start doing things to your cell phone. You can't get your calls no more. And then you feel like, yeah, I got to do something, right? I got to do something. I call that a trap. They trap you into buying a new phone. Or how about this? If many of them are traps, how about this? How about chasing blind desires? Desires blindly that we go after. And sometimes those desires that we chase can ruin us, can ruin a man, can ruin a woman. So this is where maturity is required to do the right things that we know will keep ourselves, our families, our friends, our communities, this country, this world protected and secure. Maturity. You got to know what to chase and what not to chase. You know, it kind of makes me think of a story where my old football coach told me this story when I was with the Carolina Panthers, George Kataboulis. So shouts out to George Kataboulis. I was that type of guy that I would just tackle anything. I would just do pretty much everything, right, on the football field. That's how we played at Fort Valley State. So one day, Coach Kataboulis was telling us a story, and he says, you got to be like the old bull, not the young bull. The young bull chases every cow. Every cow that the young bull sees, the young bull chases that cow. And then when the right cow comes, the young bull is too old. It's too tired, should I say. After all that running, it will get old. But the young bull has wasted its energy chasing after things that really serves no purpose. Now, the old bull is calculating. The old bull has been around the block a little bit. The old bull is not going to waste energy. The old bull is only going to chase that which the old bull knows will help. See, that comes with maturity. So if you're going to survive life, if you're going to survive the storms of life, you got to be mature. You got to know when to respond and when not to respond, when to do something and when not to do something. Which I'm telling you, I'm learning how to do that. I'm learning, right? Like I said earlier, we all are students. We all are teachers. Life will ensure that we are students and teachers. The teachers come back and teach those to help the young be better. Now, what's the next part of this foundation that you got to have if you want to survive the storms of life? Well, the next one is friendship. Friendship. That's right. Friendship. I believe the antidote for filthy enemies, filthy, that's right, I said filthy enemies, bad enemies, people who just gonna do you no good. A storm is an enemy. And the antidote to overcoming filthy attacks of the enemy, the storms of life, is a friend. That's right, a friend. Even in this age of social media, when we are capable of connecting with great number of people, I'm like, social media just allows us to have contact with people that we've never seen before, but we can listen to them and we can hear their story. And somewhere in their story, we can pick up principles of life that will help us overcome the storms of life. So social media is very good. It's capable of connecting us with a lot of great number of people. And the reality of friendship, still remains true. Now, a man or a woman can count his or her true, let me say it like this. A man or a woman who really understands who their friends are can count them on one hand. You can count them pretty much on one hand. So this is why I think we should cherish and we should honor those relationships, those people that take time out of their lives to help us overcome a situation. Whatever our storms are, whatever that test is, whatever that trial, whatever that temptation, whatever it is, friendship, people that you can lean on. What's that song? Lean on me when I'm not strong. And you guys know the song. I'll help you carry on. Friendship, we need that. You got to have people that you can lean on. And when you lean on them, you don't want them to fall. You want them to be able to hold you up. So friendship, that is a real great resource that you need to have so that when you're going through a storm, you can survive. My next one, how do you survive the storms of life, people? How do you survive the storms of life? Well, you got to have confidence. The next part of this foundation that is going to help you overcome the tests, the trials, to survive that storm, you got to have confidence. You got to have confidence. Now, I believe confidence is a learned trait. I don't think you're born with confidence. I think we have the seed, but I think it's learned through experience that makes that confidence grow and grow and grow. I believe anyone can attain it with the right effort, being in the right situation. I think education is a part of it. The more you educate yourself, I think it breeds confidence, because I believe we all are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's education. So when the storms of life come, you got to educate yourself. Education breeds confidence. And I believe we should always, and this is where the education part comes in, we should always know the enemy. Know the enemy. Know what it is that you are trying to survive. What is it? What is it? How is it attacking you? The more knowledge you have, the more confidence you will have. The more confidence you will grow. And what you are going through, you'll be able to survive it. So confidence, people. And I believe once you arm yourself with confidence, I'm telling you, when you arm yourself with confidence, Man, it brings knowledge. And when you get knowledge, you are much more likely to come out on top. Knowledge, confidence. If you get that, get the knowledge, know your enemy, know your situation. What are you trying to survive? You get knowledge on it. The more knowledge you get, it's going to breed more confidence. And the more confidence you get, the more likely you are to come out on top of your situation. Oh, man, that's good stuff. What's your next one, T-Pool? You got me going. I'm ready to, and I know I can survive my storm. Well, I told you. I knew it. So what's my next one? The next one is experience. If you want to overcome, survive your storms of life, experience. Experience. What does experience have to do with helping me survive my storms of life? I'm glad you asked. Because experience reminds you of things of the past that try to stop you. This is a good one here. Experience. Sometimes you got to reach back in the past, bring it to the front, bring it to the present. So you can say, hey, you know what? I've been here before. I've been in this fight before. I survived it then. I'm going to survive it now. So experience, reach back. And I believe the only way to be great at something, including life, is through experience. So that's why I say the more storms you go through, when you are in the middle of your storm, when you're in the middle of a storm, you are gaining invaluable experience. We are learning what pain is and how to deal with pain. We're learning what heartache is and how to deal with heartache. We are gaining insight into suffering and how to overcome suffering, so that when somebody else comes to us, we are the teacher now. We can teach them. They are the student now, and we can tell them, don't worry about it. You're going to get over it. You're going to get over it. You got a little bit of heartache right now. You got a little bit of pain. Yeah, I know you're suffering right now, but you're going to overcome it. Believe me, I've been there. And if I overcame it, you can overcome it too. So again, people, experience. Again, this not only the experience that we're going through now, not only helps us for now, but this experience helps us in the future, because life is a university, and life will always serve you temptation, trials, and tests. As long as you are breathing, as long as you are waking up every morning, life is going to serve you storms. But because of your experience, you can reach back, bring it to the present, and know that in the future, nothing can stop you, because you've been there before. So those are my top 6. I said I'm going to give you 7. Did I say I'm going to give you 7? Or did I just say I'm going to give you some tips? I think I just said I'm going to give you some tips. But I've given you 7. Now, this last one that I'm going to give to you, this one is big. This one is big, partner. This one is big. The last piece of this foundation that you need when it comes to surviving storms. When you're in the middle of your storm and you're out there in the ocean and you don't see no one in sight to help you. You just out there all by yourself. This last thing that I'm going to tell you about, this is what as they would say in sports. No, they would say when it comes to baking a cake or something, they would say, this is the cherry on top. Like you got a ice cream. This is the cherry on top, the whipped cream, the cherry on top, right? This last one, this last part, this last ingredient to that foundation is that cherry on top. What is that cherry on top? Well, that cherry on top is faith. Faith, people. Do you believe in a greater purpose? Do we acknowledge in our hearts that we are moving towards something so grand that we are not yet meant to comprehend it? Again, when you're going through the storms of life, you can't understand things. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Sometimes you haven't done nothing, but you're going through a storm. But you got to have the faith that you know what? This shall pass. I'm going to overcome this. You got to encourage yourself. Faith. You got to have faith. You got to obey and trust the process. Faith will see us through. Will see you through. Will see me through anything. Faith is a necessity. It's a necessity to a man or a woman. So if you are going to overcome and survive the storms of life, you must take faith with you. You must use your experience. You got to have confidence. Lean on your friends, the ones that can handle your weight. Make those mature decisions now. You can't just go after everything. You got to be mature. You got to have courage. Courage is going to get you through it. And you got to be disciplined. You got to stay the course, stay the course, stay the course. And if you do all those things, my friends, I promise you, you will overcome. You will survive your storm of life. So, as I bring this to an end, I just want to remind you guys, whatever you do in life, go work that thing. Go work that thing. Because everything that's in you, everything that you will be in the future is already in you right now. You just got to go work that thing. So WTT 100. And remember, work that thing with us or watch us work that thing. Work that thing with me or watch me work that thing. So again, people, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's been a pleasure. I love doing this. I hope and pray that what I said has helped somebody somewhere. So with that, I pray that you prosper in everything and be in health just as your soul prospers. And I'll see you guys next time. Go work that thing.